Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
10,000 meters in the sky. A black spaceship was quietly floating here. It was the Black Ghost. At this moment, Zhou Zhou, Bai Yun, Wu Xin, and the others were looking at the virtual screen in front of them. On the virtual screen, a black city covering 250,000 square kilometers stood there. Groups of scarlet soldiers with greenish-gray faces and two blood-red fangs curled up at the corners of their mouths were patrolling the city wall in an orderly manner. They did not look like the usual fog monsters that Zhou Zhou saw. Zhou Zhou's expression was slightly solemn. The size of this city alone was more than 20 times his own. This Dark Knight town was probably either a yellow gold tier intermediate grade territory or a yellow gold tier advanced grade territory. Zhou Zhou felt that the latter was more likely. In addition, he had already seen the other party state on the attached invitation on the map. However, the information on paper felt completely different from what he had seen with his own eyes in reality. Seeing the scene in front of him made him truly experience the difference between fog monsters with a kingdom. Compared to them, the Scarlet Lords that Zhou Zhou had dealt with earlier were simply like undisciplined stragglers. He narrowed his eyes slightly at this monster. Monster information appeared. Monster name: Green-Headed Fog Demon. Strength level: Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. Monster description: one of the three great armies of the Taiyan Kingdom, Dark Knight Town, the green-headed armies patrolling Green Sword Soldier. They have a strong physical body and are good at close combat. They also have the ability to intimidate the enemy with mental attacks. Loots: 8 green bronze tier mist cores, drop rate 100%, 1 green-headed green sword soldier set, drop rate 5%, 1 green bronze tier advanced grade skill book, Roar of Fear, drop rate 3%, 1 true faith tier scarlet crystal, drop rate 1%. After Zhou Zhou finished reading, he observed for a while more. Then, he realized that this yellow gold tier Dark Knight town also had an existence similar to the Supreme Barrier. Zhou Zhou asked the Supreme Will. He did not expect the Supreme Will notification to really respond. It told Zhou Zhou that this was called the Scarlet Barrier. Similar to his Supreme Barrier, it only existed in the territory of Scarlet Lords above yellow gold tier and had the ability to defend against external attacks. However, it did not have the ability to resist the invasion of the Scarlet Fog. Instead, it helped condense the surrounding Scarlet Fog. Zhou Zhou observed for a while, and then fell into deep thought. According to the map Wu Tu gave me, there are about 90,000 fog monsters in this Dark Knight town. There are white platinum tier Scarlet Lords among them. Moreover, other than the Scarlet Lords, there are also many white platinum tier ordinary fog monsters. The rest are yellow gold, white silver, green bronze, and black iron tier fog monsters. Most of them are black iron tier. Most of these black iron tier fog monsters are not combat fog monsters, but civilian fog monsters and life profession fog monsters. Zhou Zhou narrowed his eyes slightly. This was another difference between the fog monsters with a kingdom. They had already begun to be sorted into different categories. Not only were there fog monsters that specialized in combat and were in charge of protecting the Scarlet Territory, there were also fog monsters that were in charge of internal resupply. This was already about the same level of development as a normal lord. This was also one of the reasons why they, the fog monsters, had been fighting the local lords of the high continent for tens of thousands of years without winning. If all the fog monsters were boorish, they would have long been captured by the local lords. How could they have the chance to appear in the lords of all races? Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou took a deep breath. At this moment, while he felt that the other party was a little difficult to deal with, he could not help but feel excited. He was already tired of fighting those stupid fog monsters that only knew how to fight and kill. These fog monsters were the true opponent worthy of being taken seriously. One Yell Land. Bai Yun, Elder Wu, prepare to fight. Take down Dark Knight Town today, Zhou Zhou said in a low voice. Wenya, Bai Yun, and Wu Xin replied, yes. Wenya controlled the Black Ghost to land about 10 kilometers away from Dark Knight Town soon. Even though 10 kilometers was considered relatively far, the fog monsters in Dark Knight Town still discovered it because of the huge size of the Black Spirit. With his powerful vision, Zhou Zhou could clearly see the soldiers of Dark Knight Town 10 kilometers away. They began to run up and down in teams and had already begun to prepare for battle. So vigilant? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. Soon, after all her subordinates walked out of the Black Ghost, Bai Yun led everyone towards Dark Knight Town. After the green-headed fog demon soldiers of Dark Knight Town prepared to fight, they did not choose to leave the city to fight. Instead, they guarded the city wall and waited for them to come. When Zhou Zhou saw this scene, he realized even more how different the other party was. If it were the fog monsters he had encountered in the past, they would probably have rushed out to fight them. He did not know how to rely on the advantage of the city wall to fight like now. Bai Yun and the others were not anxious when they saw this scene. Instead, they calmly led the army forward. When they arrived at Dark Knight Town about 4,900 meters away, Bai Yun suddenly ordered the entire army to stop. "Bring up the fog cannon," Bai Yun ordered.
Yes.
The soldiers of an artillery brigade, 1,000 soldiers, immediately responded to Bai Yun's orders. Soon, a total of 100 yellow gold-tier advanced-grade mist energy cannon were carried up. This was the result of Zhang Keshuan's call for all the alchemy technicians in the Gnome Alchemy Workshop to work day and night. When the fog soldiers guarding the city wall of Dark Knight Town saw this scene, they were a little surprised. On the other side, "Aim at the city gate. Prepare to fire," Bai Yun ordered. "Aim at the city gate. Fire," all the gunners ordered. The next second, boom, 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 boom. A total of 100 mist energy cannons were fired in unison in the blink of an eye. They streaked across 100 gray streams of light in the air, then smashed into the scarlet barrier with a world-shaking sound. In just a second, the 100 mist energy cannonballs passed through the scarlet barrier and smashed into the city walls and gates of Dark Knight Town. Rumble. The 100-meter-long city wall was directly shattered by the mist energy cannonballs, turning into a large amount of gravel and hundreds of green-headed fog demons that fell to the ground. Some of the 40 to 55-meter-tall green-headed fog demons fell to their deaths, while others were smashed to death by the falling rubble after being severely injured. In short, not a single green-headed fog demon survived. Not only that, these 100 mist energy cannonballs even shattered a third of the city gate of Dark Knight Town. The green-headed fog demon's side immediately fell into chaos when they saw this. A green-headed fog demon leader at the yellow gold tier advanced grade immediately asked the green-headed archers to shoot back. However, the distance of 4,900 meters was not within the range of these black iron tier green-headed archers at all. Only a few dozen white silver tier green-headed archers managed to shoot over, but they were easily blocked by Zhou Zhou's soldiers. When Zhou Zhou saw the shocking effect of the 100 mist energy cannonballs, his eyes lit up. So strong. That was indeed the case. The more mist energy cannons there were, the more obvious the effect would be. Then, his heart ached. The power of these mist energy cannons was indeed strong. However, its consumption of mist cores was a little high. A yellow gold tier mist core was only enough to fire 10 cannonballs. The 100 mist energy cannons just now were equivalent to 10 yellow gold tier mist cores. War was really costly. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. He told Bai Yun to continue fighting boldly while his heart ached. "I don't lack money. Didn't I earn so much mist cores just to spend them?" As long as it could produce results, he was willing to spend until he went bankrupt. Bai Yun's eyes lit up when she heard Zhou Zhou's words. Then, she continued to order the gunners to continue firing without hesitation. Boom, 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 boom. Half a minute later, another 900 shells were fired. Zhou Zhou did not say anything on the surface. However, the corners of his mouth could not help but twitch a few times. Another 90 yellow gold tier mist cores. However, his expression improved slightly when he saw the tragic state opposite him. The city wall that was nearly 1,000 meters tall had already been collapsed by the 100 mist energy cannons in front of the other party's city. As for the city gate, It had disappeared at some point. The current Dark Knight town was an undefended city on the main battlefield to them. The other party also understood this. A white platinum tier elementary grade green-headed fog demon immediately stood up. It shouted in a language that Zhou Zhou could not understand and quickly gathered the soldiers of the green-headed fog demon army. In less than a minute, 30,000 to 40,000 green-headed fog demon soldiers had gathered, and their numbers were increasing. Bai Yun naturally wouldn't wait for them to gather. Wu Xian and her immediately summoned all the soldiers of the Blazing Sun Army and the Monster Army to attack this group of green-headed fog demons. Nazario and Auguste also flew towards the fog monster soldiers under Zhou Zhou's orders. Seeing Bai Yun and the others rush up, especially the two terrifying pure-blooded dragons in the sky, the leader of the green-headed fog demon was also shocked. It could not continue to gather, so it could only lead the nearly 50,000 green-headed fog demons to charge at Bai Yun and the others. When Zhou Zhou saw this, he stretched out his right hand and aimed his palm at them. White Silver Tier Lord Talent. Insight Defection. Activate. Boom. An invisible fluctuation instantly covered the entire Dark Knight town. The next second, the bodies of the more than 92,000 monster soldiers and subjects in Dark Knight town stiffened. Then, the expression in their eyes changed. They turned around and attacked their companions beside them without hesitation. At this moment, whether it was the fog monster soldiers charging outside the city wall or the fog monster soldiers and monster civilians preparing to charge inside the city wall, everything was completely chaotic at this moment. What's going on? Why are my soldiers and civilians suddenly fighting among themselves? The mayor of Dark Knight Town, who was also the strongest green-headed fog demon lord, Zaha, was immediately shocked and furious when he saw this scene. My lord, this must be the doing of that detestable lord that is attacking. Some of the lord of all races with the supreme will have strange methods. I heard from my brothers nearby that they're extremely annoyed by the various methods of these lords. Some brothers lost their lives because they didn't understand the other party's methods and returned to the kingdom of the Scarlet Lord. We have to be careful. A white platinum tier intermediate grade green-headed fog demon leader carrying a spear on his back walked over and said respectfully, "What a difficult lord of all races." The green-headed fog demon lord's anger subsided a little when it heard this. It nodded with an ugly expression. The green-headed fog demon leader nodded. By the way, Ruji, where did you go just now? Why did you just come back from outside? Zaha asked curiously. I just went to escort the green-headed fog demon who asked for help. The green-headed fog demon leader, Ruji, said respectfully. Zaha nodded and turned to his map. I hope our allies from East Demon City and Red Wasp Town arrive soon. Even though this group of lords of all races has just appeared, they're coming aggressively. We can't underestimate them. Zaha said, My lord, you're too humble. How can these lords of all races be your match? You can deal with them with a wave of your hand. Ruji smiled. Don't say that. Rumble. A greenish-gray saber beam lit up. At this critical moment, Zaha suddenly turned around and grabbed the greenish-gray azure edge nether saber with one hand. Buzz. Even though the saber was grabbed, it was still vibrating in his palm. It could be seen how fierce and ruthless the person who used the saber was. Zaha looked at the green-headed fog demon leader, Ruji, with an ugly expression. I think I've treated you very well and treat you as my closest subordinate. Why did you do that? It said angrily. Of course, it's to give the chief credit for today's battle to my lord. It's a pity. I couldn't kill you with one slash. Ruji sneered. My lord. You're a spy arranged by the other party? When was that? Zaha's expression turned even uglier. Let's ask that lord when we return to the embrace of the Scarlet Lord. After saying that, Ruji suddenly retracted his saber and slashed at the other party again. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of weapons colliding sounded continuously. The two green-headed fog demons fought intensely. The surrounding green-headed fog demons finally recovered from their shock. They immediately went forward to help. Originally, Ruji could barely fight to a draw with the green-headed fog demon lord, Zaha, because the other party was not holding any weapons. However, Zaha immediately retrieved his weapon with the help of the surrounding green-headed fog demons. In addition to these green-headed fog demons, there were 3 to 4 white platinum-tier elementary-grade green-headed fog demon leaders. Ruji's situation immediately became dangerous. It fought and retreated at the same time. Soon, it flew out of the room and came to the air to start fighting. At the same time, while the green-headed fog demons were in chaos, Bai Yun and Wu Xian were naturally very familiar with this scene. They knew that this was the Lord's method. As they praised the Lord in their hearts, they skillfully seized this opportunity and led all the soldiers to attack these green-headed fog demons. Kill these monsters. Charge. For military merits, amidst countless furious roars, the two sides quickly collided and immediately started fighting fiercely. Behind the battlefield, after Zhou Zhou activated Insight Defection, he looked at the battlefield for a few seconds. He looked at the Lord Talent notification, seeing that he had the advantage on the battlefield. Prompt: you have activated your Lord exclusive talent, Insight Defection. Insight Defection has taken effect. Lord Talent hint: a total of 3,936 Black Iron Tier Green-Headed Fog Demons, 2,019 Green Bronze Tier Green-Headed Fog Demons, 996 White Silver Tier Elite Green-Headed Fog Demons, 437 Yellow Gold Tier Green-Headed Fog Demon Leaders, and 8 White Platinum Tier Green-Headed Fog Demon Leaders have betrayed their Lord faction and become your loyal subordinates. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. Good God! Last time, he had instigated 4,100 wild stone monsters to defect. This time, he had instigated 7,396 green-headed fog demons to defect. Indeed, the more enemies there were, the more satisfying it would be to incite defection. Zhou Zhou felt very happy. It was just a wave of incite defection, and more than 7,000 subordinates had arrived. He did not know how many would survive after this battle. If more of them survived, he would have more than 90,000 soldiers by tomorrow. This moment, he suddenly heard a bang. Then, he saw a group of green-headed fog demons attacking a white platinum tier intermediate-grade green-headed fog demon leader. Zhou Zhou immediately knew that they were from his side. Nazario, Auguste, and Feng Luo. Go and support the besieged green-headed fog demon. It's one of us. Zhou Zhou saw that Feng Luo, the talent attracted by his reputation rating who had just been recruited today, was the closest to Ruoji. He also used the mental communication ability he had obtained from the Wild Stone King to call him up. When Nazario and Auguste heard the order, they flew over.
Yes.
Feng Luo was stunned for a moment. Then, he slashed the white platinum tier elementary grade green-headed fog demon leader in front of him to death with his saber and immediately went to provide support. Clang! Feng Luo slashed apart the few green-headed fog demons surrounding Ruoji, leaving only the green-headed fog demon lord, Zaha, beside Ruoji. Then, he repelled Zaha with another slash and covered Ruoji behind him. Then, he looked at him calmly. When Ruoji saw this, his eyes widened. What a fierce human! A single slash could actually send his previous lord retreating? Then, he was delighted. Let's work together. Let's get rid of this guy together. Ruoji immediately said. Feng Luo turned to look at it with a strange expression. This was the first time he had worked with the fog monsters to deal with other fog monsters. However, he did not think too much about it. Since the Lord said that he was on his side and was not too weak, there was no harm in joining forces. You deal with the other green-headed fog demons. I'll deal with this guy. Feng Luo looked at Zaha, whose expression had turned serious, and said without turning his head, You're alone? Are you confident? Ruoji was stunned for a moment before asking. I can try. Feng Luo said. Ruoji looked at him hesitantly and finally nodded. After Feng Luo finished speaking, he did not even turn his head. He held his shield in his left hand and his saber in his right. He flew towards Zaha at an astonishing speed. Zaha immediately snorted, seeing that the traitor, Ruoji, did not follow but went to stop the other green-headed fog demons from approaching. Even though his slash just now made it feel that this human was a very strong opponent. However, he was too arrogant to dare to challenge him alone. Back then, it could become the Lord of Dark Knight Town because it slashed with the Azure Edge Nether Saber in its hand. Otherwise, it would not be the only white platinum tier advanced grade green-headed fog demon in the entire Dark Knight Town. Zaha held the Azure Edge Nether Saber with both hands and slashed at Feng Luo. A greenish-black saber energy instantly left the saber and slashed over. Zaha gripped the Azure Edge Nether Saber tightly with both hands and slashed down, shattering the saber chi. At the same time, Feng Luo also followed closely behind. He rushed in front of Zaha and slashed at the opposite door. Zaha twisted his body. Even though he narrowly dodged the saber, he was still touched by the saber energy spreading on the saber. However, its physique was very strong. This slash only cut an extremely shallow wound on its body. Then, Zaha slashed at Ruoji, but the other party seemed to know the trajectory of the saber and blocked it. Clang, 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 clang. The two of them fought extremely quickly. Streaks of greenish-black or pure white saber energy slashed in all directions. No matter how tall and sturdy a building or city wall was, it could not withstand a single blow from these two white platinum tier experts. In less than a moment, the surrounding buildings and city walls were swept clean by the two of them with their saber chi, leaving only rocks that had been shattered by the saber chi on the ground. The surrounding humans and the green-headed fog demon had long left this place to fight, afraid that the aftershock of their battle would affect them. Everyone was secretly shocked by the strength of these two people. When Nazario and Auguste saw that this human could actually fight to a draw and even suppress this green-headed fog demon lord, they could not help but be surprised that this person's combat strength was so outstanding. No one else could compare to him other than the two heroes, Baiyun and Wu Xian. Then, the two of them were told by Zhou Zhou not to disturb Feng Luo and were arranged to clean up the surrounding green-headed fog demons. The two pure-blooded dragons naturally obeyed and turned to clean up the surrounding green-headed fog demons. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up when he saw Feng Luo's battle. What a powerful Feng Luo! Was this the true combat strength to walk his own path as a sword-shield soldier? He could actually fight a regional Scarlet Lord as a sword-shield soldier, as expected of a talent attracted by legendary tier. The reason why he did not let Nazario and the others interfere was because he wanted to use this Scarlet Lord to see his ability as a new legendary tier talent. Now, it seemed that he did not disappoint him. Then, Zhou Zhou shifted his gaze from Feng Luo to the green-headed fog demon lord. A monster notification appeared. Monster name: Green-headed fog demon lord, Zaha, regional Scarlet Lord. Strength level: white platinum tier advanced grade. Monster description: the mayor of Dark Knight Town, also one of the lords of the green-headed fog demon race. He manages the entire territory of Dark Knight Town and has many powerful green-headed fog demon subordinates under him. He has a strong physique, extremely strong physical defense, and is proficient in saber techniques. Loot's drop rate: 50 white platinum tier mist cores, drop rate 100%, 30 origin crystals, drop rate 100%, 1 white platinum tier advanced grade Azure Edge Nether Saber, drop rate 10%, 1 white platinum tier advanced secret manual, Azure Edge Saber, drop rate 5%, 1 white platinum tier advanced grade secret manual, green-headed ghost body, drop rate 5%, 1 fanatic believer scarlet crystals, drop rate 1%, 9 black iron tier lord talent crystal fragments, drop rate 0%. It's actually a martial artist type Scarlet Lord? And there are actually believer-level Scarlet Crystals? Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. There was naturally no need to mention the 2 white platinum tier advanced grade martial arts manuals. If it dropped, it would be upgraded to a diamond tier advanced grade martial arts manual. It was naturally extremely precious and useful to a martial artist like him. As for fanatic tier Scarlet Crystals, after they dropped, they would become Holy Spirit tier Scarlet Crystals after quality +1. When converted to the shelter of the Goddess of Life, it would become a holy spirit tier faith divine crystal. This good thing might be able to be exchanged for another death immunity scroll from the god of death. Or he could try his previous idea, a heroic spirit from the Night Temple. At this price, he might be able to obtain some benefits comparable to resurrecting heroic spirits from the Night Temple. In short, there were many benefits and no disadvantages. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou felt that coming here was the right decision. Otherwise, it would probably be very difficult for him to encounter this Scarlet Lord even after a long time. He immediately ordered Nazario to keep an eye on this regional Scarlet Lord. If Feng Luo showed any signs of losing, they would immediately help him deal with him. However, his instructions were completely unnecessary. In the sky above Dark Night Town, Lord Ziha was still fighting Feng Luo. However, unlike before, at this moment, its entire body was covered in dense saber wounds and greenish-black blood. The one who had caused these wounds was naturally its opponent, Feng Luo. Zaha looked at this human's saber technique. The more he looked at it, the more aggrieved and unbelievable he felt. Why do I feel that this person's saber technique is restraining me in every aspect? There's definitely something wrong with his saber technique. Zaha roared in his heart. Meanwhile, Feng Luo was still calmly brandishing his saber, unleashing extremely domineering saber techniques to steadily and violently suppress his opponent. He slashed over one after another. It looked like he wanted to shatter both the enemy's saber and also this saber hand. It was his white platinum tier advanced grade saber technique, slashing technique. A moment later, while the other party was already dizzy from the beating, Feng Luo suddenly slashed out with his saber, cutting off the other party's right hand that was holding the saber. Then, he slashed across the other party's neck at high speed. Zaha felt the world spin. Then, it saw its corpse. Then, its vision darkened and it could not see anything. Feng Luo let out a sigh of relief. A very powerful opponent. Feng Luo nodded slightly. Then, he suddenly felt something and surprise flashed across his eyes. What happened? How does this guy give so much promotion energy? He was a little surprised. At this moment, he even felt that if he could kill a few more regional Scarlet Lords of this level, he would be able to break through to the Diamond Tier Elementary grade. At this moment, he realized that Ruoji was almost done. Only a white Platinum Tier Elementary grade green-headed fog demon was still resisting. He immediately flew over and joined forces with Ruoji to quickly deal with the green-headed fog demon without thinking too much. Where's Zaha? Ruoji immediately asked when he saw that Zaha was gone. Zaha? If you're talking about the Scarlet Lord of Dark Night Town, I've already dealt with it. Let's not talk anymore. I'll continue fighting. With these words, Feng Luo flew back into the battlefield and began to slaughter the other green-headed fog demons. Indeed, every fog monster gives me a lot more promotion energy than normal. Is this the Lord's ability? Feng Luo looked at the excited expressions of the other soldiers and speculated that he was not the only one who had such a situation. However, even though he had thought of it, he could understand on his behalf. At this moment, he was even more shocked. Could this be the Lord's talent? It's too terrifying. I wonder what the upper limit of this Lord talent is. If there is no upper limit to this method of obtaining promotion energy, the Lord is destined to have countless experts under his command in the future. While he was shocked, he was also a little excited and expectant. Even though he did not like war, he did not resist increasing his strength. At this moment, he felt more and more that he had followed the right Lord. At the same time, Ruoji was standing on the spot, staring blankly at the other party's arrogant battle style on the battlefield. It's resolved so quickly. Why is this human actually so strong? It muttered. Suddenly, bring Zaha's corpse over. Zhou Zhou's voice sounded in its mind. Ruoji jolted and immediately came back to his senses. It immediately responded respectfully in its heart. Then, it came to Zaha's corpse and looked at it with a complicated expression. Ruoji only looked at it for 2 seconds before stopping thinking about it. He collected its corpse and flew towards Zhou Zhou, behind the battlefield. Zhou Zhou looked at the kill notification in front of him. Your subject Feng Luo has killed the white platinum tier advanced grade green-headed fog demon lord, Zaha, regional scarlet lord. Promotion energy plus 80,000. Loots condensed. Blessing of the war god. Your subject Feng Luo has obtained an additional 320,000 promotion energy points. The territory of the Scarlet Lord has become ownerless. You can plunder or occupy it. Dark Knight Town has become an ownerless area. After you obtain the regional token, you can become the regional lord of this area. Special hint 1. As the territory of Dark Knight Town belongs to the Taiyan Kingdom, Kingdom-level Scarlet Lord Force, you have opened the diplomatic relations interface. The Taiyan Kingdom has discovered your offensive behavior. Your diplomatic relations with the Taiyan Kingdom have developed from hostile to aggro. Special hint 2. Under aggro diplomatic relations, the Taiyan Kingdom can launch any offensive action against your territory at any time. Please be prepared in time. TSK Tisk. So I've long become enemies with the Taiyan Kingdom. Then it doesn't matter if it increases to aggro. When Zhou Zhou saw the last 2 lines of notifications, not only was he not nervous, but he also heaved a sigh of relief. True. After all, the lords of all races and the Scarlet Lord were under the opposing forces, the Supreme Resistance and the Crimson Overlord. It was normal for diplomatic relations to become hostile. Since that was the case, his attack on Dark Knight Town was even more correct to weaken the power of the Taiyan Kingdom. In that case, I have to do more of these things in the future. The more uncomfortable the Taiyan Kingdom is, the safer the future of my territory. When Leah comes back, tell her about this. The Aurora Kingdom and I can be considered true allies now. We should be able to obtain the Aurora Kingdom's help. Zhou Zhou thought. It would be a waste not to do such a thing. This moment, Ruoji flew over with Zaha's corpse. Greetings, my lord. After putting the corpse down, Zaha immediately said respectfully, Well done. I'll remember your contribution for today's stop. When you go back, understand our territory's military merit system. I won't disappoint you. Zhou Zhou smiled. Thank you for the reward, my lord. Zaha was looking forward to it. Continue fighting. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. Ruoji nodded and turned to rush to the battlefield again. Zhou Zhou's gaze landed on the corpse. He walked over and placed his hand on it. A text notification appeared. Lord Talent notification. Your loots have been enhanced by the King of Loots, Perfect Loots. Grade +1. Title hint. Your loots have been affected by the title of Strongest Lord. The number of loots has increased by 20%. Lord Talent hint. You have obtained Perfect Loots, 60 Mist Cores, Diamond Tier, 36 Origin Crystals, 1 Dark Bone King Blade, Diamond Tier Advanced Grade, 1 Dark Bone King Blade Record Martial Arts Manual, Diamond Tier Advanced Grade, 1 Dark Bone King Body Martial Arts Manual, Diamond Tier Advanced Grade, 1 Scarlet Crystals, Holy Spirit Grade, 10 Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, Green Bronze Tier. A smile appeared on Zhou Zhou's face. The loots of a white platinum tier advanced grade regional Scarlet Lord were indeed top grade. A total of 60 diamond tier mist cores dropped. This amount of gains. It was comparable to killing a diamond tier regional Scarlet Lord. He looked at the other loots. Among them, the Origin Crystals, Holy Spirit Tier Scarlet Crystals, and Lord Talent Crystal Fragments were common items. He looked at a black saber that emitted a faint purple light at the edge of the blade. Equipment name, Dark Bone King Blade. Equipment grade, Diamond Tier Advanced Grade. Equipment effect 1, Bone Essence of the Dark Bone King, Cultivation Efficiency plus 500% when cultivating the Dark Bone King body. Equipment effect 2, Protection of the Dark Bone King. The user's bone defense temporarily increases by 200% and the physical defense temporarily increases by 50%. It can be increased to Diamond Tier Advanced Grade at most. Equipment effect 3, Blood Drinking Evil Blade. When fighting the enemy, the Dark Bone King Blade will absorb the enemy's pure blood energy and restore the user's physical injuries. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. The equipment was not bad. They were all equipment effects that combatants needed the most. However, It was actually an exclusive knife that matched the martial arts manual. This was the first time he had seen such a weapon. He looked at the Dark Bone King body. Martial Arts Secret Manual, Dark Bone King Body. Secret Manual Quality, Diamond Tier Advanced Grade. Cultivation Effect 1. Dark Bone Defense. Cultivating the Dark Bone King body will gradually increase the strength of your bones. Flesh-type life forms will increase the defense of your body. Cultivation Effect 2. Undead Bone Spirit. When a martial artist who cultivates the Dark Bone King body is killed, the Dark Bone King will bless his soul to live in his bones and preserve his physical life for a month. During this month, the cultivator of the Dark Bone King body can find a way to revive and try to revive. After a month, the cultivator will die completely and his soul will return to the netherworld. Special Cultivation Effect 3. Dark Bone King Race. When a martial artist who cultivates the Dark Bone King body is killed, if the cultivator has the Dark Bone King blade, they can use the bone essence in the Dark Bone King blade to change their race and become the Dark Bone King race among the undead. Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. This Dark Bone King body, together with the Dark Bone King blade, could actually become a combination tool that could change races? Zhou Zhou pondered. When the time came, he really could not save his life. Perhaps he could use this. As for now, Zhou Zhou was not interested in them. He looked at the last martial arts manual. Martial Arts Secret Manual, Dark Bone King Blade Record. Secret Manual Quality, Diamond Tier Advanced Grade. Cultivation Effect, the blade technique inheritance of the Dark Bone King. After learning it, you will automatically master the lifetime blade experience and skills of the Dark Bone King. I can learn this. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. Zhou Zhou learned directly. The next second, the skill book in his hand instantly disintegrated into countless light spots and fused into his glabella. Zhou Zhou immediately felt a large amount of saber techniques and EXP, as well as some mysterious saber concepts surge into his mind. Unknowingly, he seemed to have experienced the life of a Dark Bone King called Hu Hai. However, it was not a complete life, but a portion of his life experiences when he was with the saber. After a while, Zhou Zhou opened his eyes. His gaze gradually became sharp, and his entire body revealed a sharp aura. After a moment of silence, Zhou Zhou flipped his right hand, and the Dark Bone King blade appeared in his hand. He gently stroked the blade. His gaze was complicated and a little surprised. This was because he had clearly just obtained this blade not long ago, but now he felt that it had accompanied him for hundreds or thousands of years. At the same time, the blade actually trembled slightly, as if responding to Zhou Zhou. He thought of the inheritance he had just obtained and felt the changes in his body. He heaved a sigh of relief, even though it's a little affected by the inheritance. But fortunately, it didn't affect me much. It didn't change my thoughts. Zhou Zhou waved his blade a few times on the spot. He looked a little proficient and did not look like a newbie who had just come into contact with the blade. Then, his eyes focused and he suddenly waved his blade into the distance. A chaotic saber chi shot out and directly cut open the waist of a yellow gold tier intermediate grade green-headed fog demon boss 100 meters away. He could not use this diamond tier advanced grade treasure blade above his level. Instead, he held this blade forcefully and used the chaotic energy in his body to unleash the saber energy. The grade of this Dark Bone King blade was still too high. With his white silver tier advanced grade energy level, he could not activate it at all. I'll call you the chaotic blade chi, Zhou Zhou muttered to himself. Then, he looked at his skill list and indeed saw the name of the chaotic blade chi. Skill name, chaotic blade chi. Skill quality, white silver tier advanced grade, enhanceable. Skill description, a saber chi type martial arts skill created by the Lord of the Blazing Sun using the chaotic energy in his body and his understanding of saber techniques. It has a powerful attack ability to cut and decompose. It also causes a certain defense weakening effect on any energy defense type skill. The weakening effect depends on the difference in strength between the user and the enemy. Zhou Zhou was not surprised at all when he saw the words enhanceable. As the creator of this skill, he naturally knew that it could grow. Moreover, the upper limit of growth was not low. This was a skill created with chaotic energy as the energy foundation. The lower limit was too high, and even the upper limit could not be lower. What limited it was only his own strength. He looked at the battlefield. This was because most of the high-level green-headed fog demons on the side of Dark Knight Town had already been dealt with by Nazario, Auguste, by Yun, Wu Xian, Feng Luo, and other experts. As for the remaining green-headed fog demons, they were completely helpless against the Blazing Sun Army and the Monster Army. This caused a large number of green-headed fog demons to be eliminated at all times. Among them, the 14,000 new violent storm spirits performed the most prominently. Even though they had just entered the battlefield, each of their strength was only at Black Iron Tier elementary grade. However, they were all kingdom-level soldiers after all. Under the influence of the kingdom-level combat talent, the elemental body, and the fact that they were all casting spells under the cover of the sword shield soldiers, it was almost impossible for the green-headed fog demon, who was good at close combat, to hurt them. All the violent storm spirits were casting to their heart's content. Blue-white violent storms that were 3 to 4 meters tall and 1 to 2 meters in diameter were released from their hands, either directly killing the green-headed fog demon in front of them or causing light or heavy injuries. As the green-headed fog demons were killed one after another, under the influence of the blessing of the war god, a large amount of promotional energy was absorbed by them, and the strength of all the violent storm spirits began to increase rapidly. This also increased the power of their spells again. Zhou Zhou was secretly surprised. He had just seen it with his own eyes. A Black Iron Tier intermediate grade violent storm spirit only used 2 death violent storms to kill a Bronze Tier elite green-headed fog demon alone. As for the other Black Iron Tier advanced grade violent storm spirits, it only used 1 death storm to sweep 20 to 30 green-headed fog demons into the sky. Then, they were forcefully killed by the astral winds and lightning in the violent storm. The performance of most violent storm spirits were also very stunning. There were even many stronger ones. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. Kingdom-level soldiers were indeed strong. Zhou Zhou could not help but smile when he thought about how he had only used a few fanatic believer faith divine crystals to exchange for such a powerful soldier type. He watched as the high-end combatants on the green-headed fog demon side decreased, and the low-level green-headed fog demons died in large numbers under the attack of the violent storm spirits. The scales of victory on the battlefield were tilting towards Zhou Zhou at a visible speed. Victory was only a matter of time. 2 hours later, the battlefield fell silent. Other than the green-headed fog demon that had been instigated by the insight defection, the remaining green-headed fog demons were all killed by the Blazing Sun Army. At this moment, thousands of green-headed fog demons walked over. Leading them was Ruoji, who had just fought the green-headed fog demon lord. "Greetings, my lord." All the green-headed fog demons knelt on the ground and said in unison, "From today onwards, you are my subjects. Come back to the territory with us later. As for who you belong to, those who are good at fighting will join the monster army. As for the green-headed fog demons of the life profession, just continue with your old profession. The rules of the monster army are very simple. The strongest one has the highest status. If any of you are confident that you are invincible in the monster army, as long as you can convince the masses, you can directly become the Legion commander of the monster army. Just let me know later." Zhou Zhou shouted. Zhou Zhou knew that most of the monster army were aggressive. This was their nature after all. Zhou Zhou did not intend to correct them. Instead, he felt that this personality was not bad in wartime. That was why he had set such a rule. Not surprisingly, all the green-headed fog demons and other monster army soldiers immediately howled excitedly after hearing Zhou Zhou's words. Their eyes revealed the flames of ambition. Obviously, this rule set by Zhou Zhou was very in line with their personalities. When Zhou Zhou saw this scene, he nodded slightly in his heart and said solemnly, "While you can compete to see who's stronger, but you can't kill your comrades in the midst of a competition. This is the bottom line. Those who violate the military law will be punished. Yes. Listen to the Lord." "We won't, my lord." All the soldiers of the monster army and the new green-headed fog demon responded in a mess. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. He glanced at the surviving green-headed fog demons. He realized that there were still more than 4,500 left. The others had all died in battle. Fortunately, most of the dead green-headed fog demons were black iron tier and green bronze tier. Most of the green-headed fog demons above the white silver tier were still alive, but they were more or less injured. After being treated by the clergyman of the shelter, they were fine. Insight defection was really a good talent. Zhou Zhou sighed for the umpteenth time when he saw so many green-headed fog demons. At this moment, Ruoji walked up. "My lord, I have something to report," it said respectfully. "What is it?" Zhou Zhou asked. When the Lord attacked Dark Knight Town, Lord Zaha of Dark Knight Town once sent his subordinates to inform the nearby East Demon City and Red Wasp Town to send reinforcements. However, I was already loyal to the Lord at that time. Therefore, the green-headed fog demons it sent out have already been intercepted and killed by me halfway. The letter asking for help has also fallen into my hands. However, the siege of Dark Knight Town by my lord would be known soon. In order to prevent them from attacking my lord, it's better to prepare early," Ruoji said. Zhou Zhou looked at it in surprise. This guy was quite smart. He actually stopped the letter asking for help. He wanted to use this opportunity to see if he could fight the other party's reinforcements. What are the levels of the Scarlet Lord's territory in the East Demon City and Red Wasp Town? How strong is the strongest person in their territory? Zhou Zhou thought for a few seconds and asked. East Demon City is the territory of the White Platinum Tier Elementary Grade Scarlet Lord. The Red Wasp Town is the territory of the Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade Scarlet Lord. Because the two of them are the closest to Dark Knight Town, Zaha wanted to ask them for help. As for the strongest people in these two places, the strongest person in the East Demon City is a Diamond Tier Elementary Grade Sickle Fog Mantis Lord, and the strongest person in Red Wasp Town is a White Platinum Tier Intermediate Grade Red-Eyed Blood Wasp Lord, Ruoji said. Zhou Zhou heaved a sigh of relief. If the strongest was only at the Diamond Tier Elementary Grade, Nazario could still deal with him. The current Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade Nazario would have no problem dealing with the Diamond Tier Advanced Grade Scarlet Lord. With its hero slot, it could even fight an Extraordinary Tier Scarlet Lord. This was also where his confidence lay. But at this moment, Ruoji said, other than the strongest experts in these two places, East Demon City has an army of 150,000 fog monsters, and Red Wasp Town also has an army of 50,000 bee empresses. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. Then wouldn't there be 200,000 fog monsters in total? Nazario was not afraid, but if they really fought, his Blazing Sun City soldiers might suffer heavy losses. Thinking of this, the thoughts of confrontation in his heart immediately faded. If he had 200,000 soldiers, there was no harm in fighting a dozen reinforcements from these two places. However, if they were at a disadvantage in terms of military strength, instead of fighting head-on, it was better to take a step back and wait. With the growth of his current military strength, 200,000 soldiers could be achieved in a few days, or even surpassed. Wouldn't it be better to fight then? At this moment, Baiyun also walked over. "I've something to report, my lord. I've found the territory stone tablet of Dark Knight Town," she said respectfully. "Take me there." Zhou Zhou came back to his senses and said, "Yes, please follow me, my lord," Baiyun said. Then, the two of them arrived at the Lord's Manor in Dark Knight Town one after another. In a secret room in the manor, Zhou Zhou saw the territory stone tablet. Zhou Zhou could not help but click his tongue in wonder when he saw the endurance of the 3 million yuan stone tablet. Fortunately, Baiyun was no longer the same as before. She only shot 20 arrows and shattered the territory stone tablet with 3 million endurance. The territory token and region token were revealed from the broken territory token tablet. Zhou Zhou walked over and picked up the territory token. He realized that this was a yellow gold tier advanced grade territory token. With this yellow gold tier territory token, I can upgrade my territory when I go back. A smile appeared on Zhou Zhou's face. His main goal in attacking Dark Knight Town was this yellow gold tier territory token. Now, his wish had been fulfilled. Then, he picked up the regional token. Zhou Zhou looked at it. A text notification appeared. Treasure name, regional token, region name, Dark Night Town, changeable, regional grade, yellow gold tier, area, about 10,212 square kilometers. Treasure description, the regional lord of Dark Night Town. A lord who possesses the regional lord and integrates it into the territory stone tablet can become the regional lord of Dark Night Town and obtain an exclusive regional treasure chest. More than 10,000 square kilometers. This is comparable to 3 to 4 white silver tier regional territories. Zhou Zhou lamented. Then, he put it away solemnly. After that, he walked out of the room and flew above Dark Night Town, quietly looking down at the city. It was different from his blazing sun city. As a Dark Night Town that had been established for hundreds of years, the city here was almost 10 times the size of Blazing Sun City. All the building facilities were complete, and there were many yellow gold tier life profession buildings. However, as Zhou Zhou took out the territory token, these buildings had already lost the corresponding building effect and became self-built. What a good place. What a pity. If only I could occupy this place. If I can occupy this place, I won't take the territory token. Zhou Zhou said regretfully. However, he did not regret it. Zhou Zhou had already figured it out. Even though he could fight a kingdom-level faction now. However, this kind of fight was definitely not like occupying an enemy city and fighting a long battle with the various reinforcements or even the main forces of a kingdom. Instead, he should cooperate with the Aurora Kingdom. The Aurora Kingdom would restrain the main forces of the Taiyan Kingdom on the frontal battlefield while he fought the enemy from behind and retreated. The enemy would retreat while he fought guerrilla warfare and plundering. This made it impossible for the Taiyan Kingdom to care about each other. In the end, they would gradually devour the other party. Therefore, he had already decided not to stay here for long, let alone leave any subjects behind. Since that was the case, then he would take the territory token and destroy this place. He would definitely not give the reinforcements from the Taiyan Kingdom a chance to make use of this city again. It would be easier for him to make a comeback in the future. More than an hour later, all the green-headed fog demons' corpses were extracted with loots. At the same time, all the injured and dead soldiers were healed and revived with the combined efforts of the doctors and clergy, including the more than 4,500 green-headed fog demons that had survived the insight defection. Not only did his number of subordinates not decrease when he came out to fight this time, but it even increased. After that, Zhou Zhou did not stay any longer. After getting the soldiers to bring all the loots they could take away, he boarded the Black Ghost and prepared to return to Blazing Sun City. This time, Zhou Zhou did not fly around randomly. Instead, he obediently entered the Sandstorm Forbidden Land and passed through the safe passage that the Sandstorm Forbidden Land automatically opened. Then, he returned to Blazing Sun City unimpeded. Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou had just returned when he saw Elder Zheng arranging for someone to register the identity of the new subject. In front of Elder Zheng and the others were 4 long lines, each with more than 200 people. Why are there so many people? Zhou Zhou was stunned. Then, he suddenly thought of something and immediately opened his information notification column. There, he discovered many information notifications that he had ignored previously. Lord Talent hint. You have captured a Black Iron Tier Scarlet Lord's territory. Under the influence of the Lord Talent, Embrace of the Conqueror, White Silver Tier, 10 professional subjects with Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade potential have come to join your territory. Lord Talent hint. You have captured a White Platinum Tier Scarlet Lord's territory. Under the influence of the Lord Talent, Embrace of the Conqueror, White Silver Tier, 10 White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade professional subjects have come to join your territory. Lord Talent hint. You have captured a Yellow Gold Tier regional territory. Under the influence of the Lord Talent, Embrace of the Conqueror, White Silver Tier, 10 Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade professional subjects have come to join your territory. There were many Lord Talent notifications like this. Zhou Zhou counted carefully and realized that there were a total of 76 of them. It was the total number of Scarlet Lord territories and regional territories he had captured. There were a total of 760 professional subjects and professionals in these notifications. Coupled with the refugees attracted by the Lord of Peace and Prosperity's talent today, and the normal subjects and professionals recruited by the Gate of Summoning, his territory had gained more than 31,000 subjects today alone. Zhou Zhou pondered. The population of Blazing Sun City was increasing. Why don't he move some population to Sandgold City? Zhou Zhou did not think for long. While a large number of new subjects joined his territory every day, the area of his territory was also expanding day by day. Therefore, he did not have to worry too much about the population reaching the upper limit of the territory for the time being. He suddenly thought of something and called Wu Xian, who was closest to him in proximity, over and whispered something into his ear. "All right, my lord. I'll do it now." Wu Xian chuckled. Zhou Zhou nodded. Then, he returned to his lord manor and his room and took out a list of loots. It recorded the details of all the loots they had obtained today after conquering these 6 regional territories and destroying more than 171,000 fog monsters, as well as the increase in the strength of the legionaries. With the enhancement of the title of the King of Loots and the Strongest Lord, there were a total 4,669 diamond tier mist cores, 41,587 white platinum tier mist cores, 283,523 yellow gold tier mist cores, 394,861 white silver tier mist cores, 548,477 green bronze tier mist cores, 160 origin crystals. There were 205,693 skill books and 253,697 equipment. More than 260 million units of basic materials. 104,120 true faith tier scarlet crystals, 52,127 pious tier scarlet crystals, 14,952 fanatic tier scarlet crystals, 1 Holy Spirit scarlet crystal, 14 alchemy pharmacist recruitment books, 8 alchemy technology recruitment books, 18 mount contracts, 495 green bronze tier lord talent crystal fragments, 1 yellow gold tier territory token, 1 white silver tier territory token, 15 green bronze tier territory tokens, 52 black iron tier territory tokens, 1 yellow gold tier regional token, 2 white silver tier regional tokens, 2 green bronze tier regional territories, 1 black iron tier regional token. Other than that, there were also a few miscellaneous loot. Zhou Zhou had already seen all these miscellaneous loots when he was looking at the monster information. Most of them were loots like monster materials and were not suitable to be placed in the monster ranch to be produced. What made him happier were the diamond tier mist cores. 4,669 diamond tier mist cores. "I'm rich now." Zhou Zhou smiled. With so many mist cores, he could boldly buy the materials to build the Aurora Tower from the Aurora Kingdom. Perhaps he could buy some other valuable treasures. Then, he looked at the improvement of the soldiers. In today's battle, after killing so many fog monsters, a total of 61,424 people had broken through. Among them, 31,927 were promoted to the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade and Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade. 20,238 people advanced from Black Iron Tier to Green Bronze Tier. 8,122 people advanced to the White Silver Tier. 1,137 people advanced to the Yellow Gold Tier. Bai Yun had broken through to Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. Soul Reaper Maris had broken through to the Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade. The Spectral Dragon Auguste had also killed a lot of fog monsters. It had already broken through to the Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade. Zhou Zhou sighed. It was hard to imagine. This little guy had just been born yesterday. It could only be said that it was no longer the same as before. The blessing of the war god and the large number of fog monsters that Auguste had destroyed had created a miracle that it had advanced 2 levels in a short period of time. Zhou Zhou was filled with anticipation. In the future, he would only nurture new subordinates faster and faster. This was naturally extremely beneficial to him as a lord. Then, Zhou Zhou looked at the summary of the strength of the soldiers at the bottom of the loot's list. Now, he had a total of 91,596 soldiers from the Blazing Sun Army and the Monster Army under his command. Among them, there were 31,020 Black Iron Tier soldiers. There were 41,850 Bronze Tier soldiers, 17,089 White Silver Tier. There were 1,637 Yellow Gold Tiers. When Zhou Zhou saw this, he could not help but look happy. After today's series of battles, the strength of his soldiers had more than doubled. The strategy of nurturing battle with battle was indeed very suitable for him. The current him, even if the enemies brought by the Night Lord back then increased by 10 times, they would probably not be his match. Then, Zhou Zhou took out the 6 regional tokens and fused them into his territory stone tablet. After all of them fused in, the total number of regional territories under his command had reached 16. The number of Lord announcements triggered by the number of territories in the previous subregion is 10. I wonder how many regions and territories will be triggered next. 20 or 30 or more. Zhou Zhou guessed in his heart. If only there were 20 of them, then he would be able to reach it in less than 2 days. However, if that was not the case, he would have to work harder and attack more regional territories. Even though he had been on the entire channel's Lord announcement many times, however, who would complain that there were too many benefits and fame? Then, Zhou Zhou took out all his Lord Talent Crystal fragments and Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals. He calculated and realized that he could already upgrade the Blessing of the War God to Yellow Gold Tier. Not only that, he still had 14 White Platinum Tier Lord Talent Crystal fragments. He could still upgrade to the White Platinum Tier after upgrading to the Yellow Gold Tier. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou immediately looked forward to it. He did not waste any time and immediately began to fuse. Zhou Zhou first fused 400 green Bronze Tier Lord Talent Crystal fragments into 4 White Silver Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals. Then, he used the 59 green Bronze Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals and 10 green Bronze Tier Lord Talent Crystal fragments that he had previously synthesized to fuse into 6 White Silver Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals. In the end, he combined them into a Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. Seeing this, Zhou Zhou opened his Lord Talent interface and muttered to himself to level up. The next second, as the Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal in his hand emitted an even brighter golden light, a text notification appeared. As you have 5 White Silver Tier Lord Talents at the same time, Monster Ranch, Insight Defection, Return to the City, Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God, and Embrace of the Conqueror, please choose one to advance. I choose the Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God to advance. Zhou Zhou said in a low voice. Lord Talent has been chosen. Upgrading in progress. The next second, he felt a familiar warm feeling between his eyebrows. Zhou Zhou was already familiar with this. He waited calmly for this process to end. A moment later, the warmth on his forehead gradually disappeared. A new text notification appeared. Lord Talent upgrade successful. Congratulations, your White Silver Tier Lord Talent, Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God, has been upgraded to Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent, Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God. The Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent effect after your promotion is as follows. Lord Talent, Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God, Yellow Gold Tier. Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God. One of the 10 main gods under the Supreme will has blessed you and your combat type professionals. You and your combat type professionals will receive an additional 1000% promotion energy after killing the enemy. Zhou Zhou's eyes widened. F*CK? It directly increased from an additional 400% to an additional 1000%? This was only an upgrade to the Yellow Gold Tier. What about White Platinum Tier? Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou immediately used 10 White Platinum Tier Lord Talent Crystal fragments to fuse into a White Platinum Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. Then, he directly upgraded the Blessing of the 10 Gods, the Blessing of the War God. The details of the upgraded White Platinum Tier Lord Talent were as follows. Lord Talent, Blessing of the Tin Gods, Blessing of the War God, White Platinum Tier. Blessing of the Tin Gods, Blessing of the War God. One of the 10 chief gods under the Supreme will has blessed you and your combat type professionals. Professionals. You and your combat type professionals will receive an additional 2000% promotion energy after killing the enemy. Zhou Zhou's eyes widened even more after reading it. Good God. Obtained an additional 2000% promotion energy. This effect was too strong. Eliminating one fog monster was equivalent to eliminating 21 fog monsters. From then on, he and his subordinates took off. That was indeed the case. It was indeed not wrong for him to insist on upgrading this Lord Talent. After this Lord Talent is upgraded to the mythical tier, will it obtain an additional 10,000% promotion energy increase? Zhou Zhou could not help but think. If that was the case in the future, if his subordinates wanted to increase their strength, they would not have to worry about anything else. They only had to worry about the upper limit of their potential. Zhou Zhou could not help but think. Then, he looked at the remaining Lord Talent crystal fragments. After just leveling up, he was left with 74 Black Iron Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 443 Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 7 White Silver Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 3 Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 4 White Platinum Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 10 Extraordinary Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 2 Legendary Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Zhou Zhou shook his head. It would be difficult for him to upgrade it to the Diamond Tier Lord Talent next. This was because he did not even have a Diamond Tier Lord Talent crystal fragment. If he wanted to use the White Platinum Tier Lord Talent crystal fragment to forcefully synthesize it, he would need 100 White Platinum Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments to fuse 1 Diamond Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. It was too far away. However, even so, Zhou Zhou did not mind too much. The White Platinum Tier Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God was already so powerful that it exploded. Zhou Zhou looked forward to how much his soldiers' strength would increase after cleaning up the monster ranch tomorrow. He would slowly save them to level up again. It would level up one day. After that, he planned to upgrade his territory, so he called the Catgirl sisters, Nazario, and Auguste and walked out of the Lord Manor. Zhou Zhou looked at the building in front of him. A line of text appeared. "Do you want to upgrade the Lord Manor?"
Yes.
He said. The next second, 12 million units of basic materials, 100 yellow gold tier mist cores, 80 origin crystals, and 1 yellow gold tier territory token disappeared from the territory warehouse. Boom. A golden light immediately covered the entire Lord's residence. A moment later, the golden light dissipated. The obviously expanded Lord Manor appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Rows of golden text notifications appeared. Congratulations, your Lord's residence has been upgraded to a yellow gold tier intermediate grade building. There is an additional gaming hall. Your territory has been upgraded to yellow gold tier intermediate grade. Territory token endurance increased to 2 million/2 million. Your territory has expanded to 200,000 m times 200,000 m times 20,000 m. All fog monsters within the territory of the new territory have been expelled. Scarlet fog will not appear in any of your territories. You have received an upgrade reward, Basic Building Blueprint Treasure Chest, Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade. Lord Talent Hint. The upper limit of the enemy Lord faction that you can induce insight defection has been raised to Epic Tier Elementary Grade. Lord Talent Hint. Your monster ranches can be upgraded. Lord Talent Hint. Your mysterious caravan faction has increased. Lord Talent Hint. The strength of the clergy in your Goddess of Life's shelter has increased. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. It had just been upgraded yesterday. He leveled up again today. He was quite satisfied with the speed at which his territory increased. The gaming hall was a good place. He could go and play when he was bored in the future. As for the Basic Building Blueprint Treasure Chest, Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade, he would give it to Elder Zheng like before. Then, Zhou Zhou looked at the upgrade requirements. Construction upgrade, 5 million units of wood, 5 million units of fine sand, 5 million units of metal, 5 million units of stone, 500 yellow gold tier mist core, 200 origin crystals, 2 yellow gold tier territory tokens. All other resources. I'm just short of 2 yellow gold tier territory tokens. Zhou Zhou pondered. He only knew that a red wasp town was the territory of a yellow gold tier scarlet lord. There must be a yellow gold tier territory token there. As for the rest, he did not know. I'll ask Wu Tu when he comes back. Or ask Ruoji again. There must be many yellow gold tier territories in the Taiyan kingdom. Zhou Zhou thought. He was not in a hurry. After that, he came to the gate of summoning and spent 800,000 units of basic materials, 5,000 white silver tier mist cores, and 500 yellow gold tier mist cores to upgrade it to the yellow gold tier intermediate grade. Congratulations, your gate of summoning has been upgraded to a yellow gold tier intermediate grade building. You can summon plus 20 subjects every day. You will definitely summon 20 professionals every day among the subjects. Prompt. Under the influence of the unique title of the race, Glory of the Pioneer 3, you can summon 725 subjects a day. You will definitely summon 24 professionals every day among the subjects. And the professional levels of 4 of the professionals will be the same as your territory level. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. However, there were not many waves in his heart. After all, he was not sure about his current territory. After upgrading the Gate of Summoning, the only valuable ones were probably the 4 professional subjects of the same level as the territory. Then, he looked at its upgrade requirements. Construction upgrade, 500,000 units of wood, 500,000 units of fine sand, 500,000 units of metal, 500,000 units of stone, 1,000 yellow gold tier mist core, territory level upgraded to yellow gold tier advanced grade. Zhou Zhou retracted his gaze. If he wanted to upgrade the Gate of Summoning, he had to wait until his territory level increased. Reporting to my lord. The princess of the Aurora Kingdom is outside the manor. The guard's voice came from outside. Invite them in. Zhou Zhou was stunned before saying, Yes, my lord. The guard replied. Soon, Zhou Zhou saw Li Ye and the maid, Yu Qiao, walk in together. The 3 of them chatted briefly before the other party told them why he was here. Zhou Zhou, we're here to bid farewell. Li Ye said politely. Has Elder Zhao built the Aurora Tower? As expected, Zhou Zhou asked. It's already built. That's why we're preparing to bring it back to the Aurora Kingdom. After saying that, she flipped her right hand and 20 territory fusion certificates appeared in her hand. Then, she handed them to Zhou Zhou. This is the territory fusion certificate that my father just sent over. I hope they can help you. She said gently. Why are there so many? Zhou Zhou could not help but be shocked when he saw so many territory fusion certificates. Didn't she say that the Aurora Kingdom only had 300 to 400 territory fusion certificates after so many years? Most of them are just some black iron tier and green bronze tier territory fusion certificates. There's only one white platinum tier territory fusion certificate. This is nothing to our Aurora Kingdom. Li Ye explained. Thank you very much. After Zhou Zhou finished speaking, he secretly remembered this favor and took the 20 territory fusion certificates. He took a rough look. Among them, there were 8 black iron tier, 5 green bronze tier, 4 white silver tier, 2 yellow gold tier, and 1 white platinum tier. This could almost fuse all my current territory. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. Then, he suddenly remembered something. If I merge all the territories, will it affect me from triggering the entire channel's Lord announcement related to the number of territories in the region? Zhou Zhou suddenly reacted. Zhou Zhou did not think too much about it. Instead, he tried to ask the Supreme Will. In the end, the Supreme Will really gave an answer. Supreme Will notification. It won't affect. These 3 simple words made Zhou Zhou heave a sigh of relief. Since that was the case, then fuse. Zhou Zhou first took out a black iron tier territory fusion certificate. A text notification appeared. Do you want to use the territory fusion certificate, black iron tier? Yes, he said. The next second, an illusory map appeared in front of him. It was a map of the blazing sun desert and the surrounding territory. There were a total of 4 regions. Other than the Sandgold City and Thorn Dune, there was also a Black Iron Tier regional territory that he had just conquered that day that was connected to the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. This area not only bordered the Sandstorm Forbidden Land, but it also bordered the Blazing Sun Desert a little. However, this border was extremely inconspicuous on the map. Moreover, because the terrain was complicated and not suitable for marching, Zhou Zhou subconsciously ignored it. He did not expect it to be considered a regional territory that could be fused because of this border. Then wouldn't he be able to fuse all the regions and territories he had just conquered today through the Sandstorm Forbidden Land? At this thought, Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. He did not think for long because a new text notification appeared. Please choose the regional territory you want to fuse from the following map. Zhou Zhou retracted his thoughts and thought for a moment. He prepared to test the waters first, so he clicked on the Black Iron Tier territory of Thorn Dune. Right on the heels of that, he saw the border between the Blazing Sun Desert and Thorn Dune gradually become blurry and finally disappear. At the same time, rows of new text notifications appeared one by one. You have chosen Thorn Dune, Black Iron Tier region territory, as the target for the fusion of your initial territory. Fusion in progress. Fusion successful. Congratulations, your initial territory, Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier region territory, has successfully fused with Thorn Dune, Black Iron Tier region territory. Your Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, territory level has increased slightly. The range of your Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, territory has increased. Your Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, territory has perfectly inherited all the territory resources of the original territory and the fusion territory. The desert terrain of your initial territory, the Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, has been slightly improved and has increased in vegetation. Your Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, energy density and energy level have increased slightly. Please continue to fuse regional territories and increase the level of your regional territories. It didn't increase the level of the regional territory? Zhou Zhou frowned slightly when he saw the first notification. It seemed that fusing only one Black Iron Tier regional territory was not enough to directly upgrade the Blazing Sun Desert from a Black Iron Tier regional territory to a Green Bronze Tier regional territory. He had to fuse more regional territories. Among the regional territory bonuses after the fusion, the second last one surprised and enlightened him. So increasing the level of the territory can increase the energy density and energy level in the territory. Doesn't that mean that the higher the level of the territory, the easier it is to give birth to experts? There's actually such a use for increasing the level of the territory? Zhou Zhou was surprised. In order for professionals to increase their strength, they could not only eliminate the fog monsters. Through cultivation, absorbing the energy of traveling between heaven and earth could also slowly accumulate promotion energy to increase his strength realm. For example, a martial artist could increase their strength level by cultivating martial techniques. During the training process, their body could spontaneously absorb energy through martial arts moves. Mages could also take the initiative to absorb energy through meditation to increase their strength level. Even soldier-type professionals could let their bodies absorb energy through daily training to constantly become stronger. Compared to leveling up by killing monsters, even though it was not that efficient. However, the advantage was that it was very safe and there was almost no danger. That was also 2 ways for professionals to increase their strength. If professionals lived in a place with high energy density and level for a long time, their strength would naturally increase even if they did not cultivate hard. If there were professionals who worked hard to cultivate in such an environment, the speed at which their strength increased could be described as 1,000 miles a day. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou immediately became determined to work hard to increase the level of his territory. Who didn't want to become stronger just by lying down? Without any hesitation, he clicked on Sandgold City and fused its territory into the scorching desert. You have chosen Sandgold City, Black Iron Tier region territory, as the target for the fusion of your initial territory. Fusion in progress. Fusion successful. Congratulations, your initial territory, Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier Region Territory, has successfully fused with Sandgold City, Black Iron Tier Region Territory. Your Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, territory level has increased greatly. The Blazing Sun Desert has been upgraded from a Black Iron Tier regional territory to a Green Bronze Tier regional territory. The range of your Blazing Sun Desert, Green Bronze Tier, territory has increased. Your Blazing Sun Desert, Green Bronze Tier, territory has perfectly inherited all the resources of the original territory and the fusion territory. Your initial territory, the Blazing Sun Desert, Green Bronze Tier, has been slightly improved. Some parts have been changed to the Gobi terrain. The energy density and energy level of your Blazing Sun Desert, Green Bronze Tier, regional territory has reached the standard of a Green Bronze Tier regional territory. Please continue to fuse with the regional territory and increase the level of the regional territory. I've advanced to a Green Bronze Tier regional territory. From the looks of it, if I want to upgrade a Black Iron Tier regional territory to a Green Bronze Tier regional territory, I need to fuse 2 Black Iron Tier regional territories. Or can I directly fuse a Green Bronze Tier regional territory? Zhou Zhou guessed. Thinking of this, he first pulled up the information of the regional territory of the Blazing Sun Desert. Area name: Blazing Sun Desert, changeable. Regional grade: Green Bronze Tier. Territory: Lord of the Blazing Sun. Area: about 1,490 square kilometers. Zhou Zhou looked at the last regional territory information and compared it to the other Green Bronze Tier regional territories. He realized that their area was the same. Perhaps the number of territories fused is not the most important. As long as the area of the territory reaches the standard of a Green Bronze Tier regional territory, it can be promoted. Zhou Zhou guessed. After that, he continued to fuse with the surrounding territory. Blackrock Desert, Green Bronze Tier. Silent Wasteland, Green Bronze Tier. Withered Forest Plains, White Silver Tier. Yellow Earth Plain, White Silver Tier. The regions and territories that he had conquered in the past were fused into the Blazing Sun Desert. Towards this, even though Zhou Zhou felt a little emotional, he did not feel any pity. Instead, he was looking forward to it. He did not know what level his Blazing Sun Desert would reach after they were all fused. A moment later, Zhou Zhou looked at the map in front of him and fell silent. Most of the territory on the map had been fused. Only 2 regional territories had yet to fuse. They were the Green Forest and Dark Night Town that had just been conquered today. I'm just short of a White Silver Tier territory fusion certificate. Before I can fuse with Green Forest, then we can fuse with the Dark Night Town that borders it. Zhou Zhou felt a headache coming on. Zhou Zhou looked at the territory of the Blazing Sun Desert that was already at the Yellow Gold Tier. He thought for a moment and got someone to invite Li Ya. If he did not think of a way to fuse these 2 regions, he would not be able to sleep tonight. Fortunately, the other party had yet to leave. Otherwise, he would have to wait for Li Ya to return first. After Li Ya came over, Zhou Zhou chatted briefly and asked her if she could provide him with some more territory fusion certificates. I can buy them with mist cores. Zhou Zhou said. He was not lacking in mist cores. It was naturally best if he could buy them. As for getting the other party to provide the territory fusion certificate for free, Zhou Zhou did not have the face to do so even if Li Ya was willing. Friends were meant to take such conscienceless advantage. Is it not enough? Li Ya could not help but be stunned when she heard Zhou Zhou's words. Then, she asked curiously, I'm missing a White Silver Tier territory fusion certificate, and we'll probably be needing a lot of them in the future, so I want to buy more. Zhou Zhou told the truth. Li Ya clicked her tongue. She had just provided 4 White Silver Tier territory fusion certificates. Was it actually not enough? It was probably difficult for outsiders to imagine that this handsome lord in front of them had only developed for a short 14 days. Okay, I'll speak to my father when I get back. Li Ya agreed without hesitation. Even though her father wanted to keep those territory fusion certificates and fuse an extraordinary tier regional territory for the Aurora Kingdom after he had accumulated enough, it would increase the foundation of the country. However, Now that the Aurora Kingdom was surrounded by enemies on 3 sides, the situation was not optimistic. They could no longer consider such a long-term plan. Under such circumstances, the territory fusion certificate was not so important. Thank you for your help. You can say that I'll use the Diamond Tier Mist Core to buy it when you speak with His Majesty. If not, Extraordinary Tier Mist Core works too, Zhou Zhou said, with the Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag. Not to mention the Extraordinary Tier Mist Core. Even Legendary Tier Mist Cores could be created for them. However, this matter was too ridiculous, so Zhou Zhou did not say anything. Extraordinary Tier Mist Cores? Li Yu's eyes lit up. A mist core of this level could be considered a top-notch resource for their Aurora Kingdom. She did not expect Zhou Zhou to possess them too. Li Yu suddenly felt that she could not understand Zhou Zhou. He was completely unlike a novice lord, but it was fine. The more she could not understand Zhou Zhou, the more it proved that her judgment was right. Father will definitely agree, Li Yu said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. After chatting for a while, Li Yu raised the idea of returning to the Aurora Kingdom. When Zhou Zhou heard this, he sent her out of Blazing Sun City. He only returned to his territory after seeing her follow a group of Aurora Kingdom professionals through a spatial teleportation array. As soon as he returned, he saw someone waiting for him at the entrance of the manor. It was Bao Xiu'er, whom he had not seen for a long time. My lord, you're back. Bao Xiu'er's eyes lit up. For reasons unknown, Zhou Zhou could actually see a wistful expression in the other party's eyes. Wistful? What was going on? He thought that he had seen something wrong, so he did not think too much about it. Long time no see. What have you been up to these days? Zhou Zhou nodded and smiled. I'm taking care of Teacher Li. I came here today to tell my lord something. Teacher Li has already recovered. She can walk freely now, but not too quickly. Bao Xiu'er said. Teacher Li has woken up? Bring me to her. Zhou Zhou immediately said. Bao Xiu'er nodded and led him to her house. Soon, the two of them arrived at Bao Xiu'er's house. He had just arrived. Zhou Zhou saw Zhang Li supporting a white-haired woman with a kind and smiling face as she walked around the door. It was Li Huiyue, who had recovered. Bai Yuejing also stood at the side. At this moment, he looked at Li Huiyue, who had recovered, with a smile on his face. The three of them soon discovered Zhou Zhou and Bao Xiu'er. Greetings, my lord. Zhang Li and Bai Yuejing immediately said respectfully. At this moment, Li Huiyue also realized that the young man in front of her was her benefactor. Even though she had long heard of it, she could not help but be surprised when she really saw Zhou Zhou's appearance. He was too young. She immediately bowed without thinking and said gratefully, Greetings, my lord. Thank you, my lord, for saving my teacher's life. You're too kind, elder one. Zhou Zhou immediately walked forward and helped the other party up. Bao Xiu'er and your disciple, Zhang Li, are very outstanding subjects in my territory. As a lord, how can I not help if I can when their teacher needs help? He smiled and said, My lord. Bao Xiu'er and Zhang Li were quite touched. If not for the fact that the two of them were already dead loyal, their loyalty would definitely have increased greatly. Li Huiyue smiled and nodded. I have nothing to repay you for your kindness. If you don't mind, I'm willing to be a tailor in your territory for the rest of my life and be at your disposal, she said. Zhou Zhou's eyes immediately lit up. This was an extraordinary tier tailor. It was equivalent to a talent attracted by reputation rating at the same level as Bai Yuejing, Qin Jiangsheng, and Luo Feng. Who could refuse such a good thing? Then I'll have to rely on elderly for my territory in the future. Zhou Zhou immediately agreed with a smile. I'll do my best. Li Huiyue agreed without hesitation. Seeing this, Zhou Zhou opened her attribute information and took a look. He realized that Li Huiyue was actually an extraordinary tier advanced grade tailor with extraordinary tier advanced grade potential. Moreover, her loyalty was actually 95. This was the first time Zhou Zhou had seen such a loyal subject who had just joined the territory. Zhou Zhou looked at the other party's upper limit of potential and immediately thought of his bottle of epic tier potential advancement potion. He considered it for a moment, but didn't say it. Zhou Zhou was now an experienced lord. There should be evidence for rewards and punishments. It would not be good to give the precious and rare epic tier potential promotion potion to the other party for no reason in front of so many people. It was not too late to wait for the other party to make a contribution. Then, Zhou Zhou and Li Huiyue chatted for a while, more before leaving with Elder Bai. It's all thanks to you, Elder Bai, that we were able to save Elder Li and let the territory have the loyalty of an extraordinary tier advanced grade tailor. Zhou Zhou and Elder Bai chatted as they walked. My lord, you're too kind. It's not all me. If not for the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies that my lord gave me to use, I'm afraid I wouldn't have been able to do anything about Li Huiyue's illness. Bai Yuejing sighed. This time, it was all thanks to the help of the senior with superb medical skills and essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies. Otherwise, he would definitely not be able to do it alone. Unfortunately, that senior's consciousness did not seem to be complete. Otherwise, he would definitely be able to treat Li Huiyue faster and better. Zhou Zhou remembered when he heard this. He remembered that he had released a deal on the exchange a long time ago about buying ancestral statues. He also focused on purchasing the statues of Sun Simiao and Lu Ban. But there was no response. Zhou Zhou was not surprised. After all, not every lord was as abnormal as Zhou Zhou, who could have advanced architects to build high-level buildings like the Imperial Ancestral Temple in the early stages. At this moment, he suddenly sensed something and was stunned for a moment. Then, he quickly opened the exchange. When he saw the notification from the exchange, his eyes widened.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.